Hi, I'm Troy Bailey, and welcome to the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide, the show about collecting all things superhero cinema. And today we are looking at the Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. Let's get into it. Suicide Squad Hell to Pay is an animated superhero film with a runtime of 86 minutes. The film was a straight-to-home video release and not shown in theatres. It was released digitally on the 27th of March 2018 and also on DVD, Blu-ray and 4K HD on the 10th of April 2018, with the film making to date $2.8 million in total domestic home video earnings. It was directed by Sam Liu and was written by Alan Burnett, his last work before his retirement, with the film being produced by Warner Brothers Animation and distributed by Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. It was the 31st film in the DC Universe animated original movie series and the 9th film in the DC animated movie universe. Although the second animated film to feature the Suicide Squad, it is the first self-titled animated movie for the supervillain group. The film tells the story of Task Force X being reassembled to go on a secret mission for Amanda Waller, who discovers that she is diagnosed with a terminal illness, to find a mystical black card emblazoned with "Get Out of Hell Free." But the squad runs into trouble when they find out Vandal Savage and the Reverse Flash are also both out to get the card, with a race to the finish to see who can retrieve it first. Okay, the disc in case. So I have the DVD version here, and don't get me wrong, I love that cover. It looks really good painted. But am I the only one that notices this? I'll just put that up there. Yep, that's the same pose. If you look at Harley in both of those, that's exactly the same pose. Like, please come up with something else for the next one. Don't use the same thing again. So as the spine, that's pretty stock standard for your DC releases at the moment. Looks not too bad. And of course the back cover has got another great painted picture, which I quite like there on the back. Not bad at all. Now for the disc, just a shot of, hey, what do you know, Harley in that pose again. And of course dead shot. Not colour, but still not a bad one. They've gone with something a little different. Overall, I don't mind it. Looks pretty good. So I would probably give this a 7 out of 10. The story and script. Now, this wasn't too bad. The script wasn't too bad, and the story was pretty good. Now, I wasn't sure on the whole get a hell free card thing. It did seem a bit silly to begin with, but it weirdly kind of worked for the story. You know, with it looking into people's faith and their beliefs about the afterlife. With this kind of get us to see all the different views from each of the different characters, and then you throw in this road trip movie with this whole rat race, or It's a Mad Mad World race for the prize vibe going on, and you get a pretty solid movie actually. Now there were two things that I wasn't fussed on. One was Vandal Savage. He was way underutilized and killed off way too quickly. And the second and major one for me was the whole Reverse Flash thing. This whole, just before I died, I used the Speed Force to live a bit longer. I mean, seriously, what the...
Whoa, stop right there. Stop that shit, man.
Seriously, this whole Speed Force thing in DC Comics is getting out of hand. It can do just about anything the writers need, and I'm sorry, it just has to stop, DC. Stop it. No, stop it. I'm sure the Reverse Flash is a great villain, and it does help tie this movie into the extended universe, but I'm sure you could come up with someone else as the other villain, as this was really I was nearly swore then, really a stretch. But with that aside, it was a pretty good movie. So I will give that 25 out of 30. From page to screen. Now, the animation and the look of the characters are great. All in line with the new 52 look they've got going on at the moment in these movies. And I feel like the voice acting was pretty good across the board, with the likes of Christian Slater as Deadshot, Vanessa Williams as Amanda Waller, Billy Brown as Bronze Tiger, Tara Strong as Harley Quinn, and Liam McIntyre as Captain Boomerang. He was great, and as an Australian, I do love it when they make the effort to have an Australian character played by an Australian actor and have a decent Australian accent, which is always good because sometimes it's pretty bad. But as I said before, the one letdown was Vandal Savage. This character has been built up in the animated movies as this really formidable force for most of the heroes to deal with, and in this movie he becomes a throwaway character that's weak and just outsmarted really quick, which is really a shame. And of course, the Speed Force. Just stop it. Okay, writers? Just stop it. No more. Anyway, with that out of the road, I would probably give that a pretty solid 17 out of 20. Okay, special features. Now, we just get a preview of the Death of Superman on this DVD version, but if you get yourself the Blu-ray or 4K versions, you get Outback Rogue, Captain Boomerang featurette, Nice Shot Floyd, the greatest marksman in the DCU featurette, The Power of Plot Devices, MacGuffins and Red Herrings featurette, and the movie commentary. So there's some good ones there if you get the Blu-ray or 4K. But as I've only got the DVD version, so I can only just rate this one. And as usual, it's just the usual trailer. So unfortunately, for this DVD version, I give that a 2 out of 10. Critics review. Now, the critics scores came in at 88% and the audience scores came in at 71%. Not a bad score from the critics. As I looked at them, seems to be a pretty standard love for the whole movie across the board, though I thought the audience score would have been a bit higher, but it's still good overall, and I think this is a pretty spot on for what the movie is. So when I round it all up, that'll give us a score of 8 out of 10. My review. For me, this was a pretty solid movie. I watched it back in the day when it came out, and again just recently to do this review, and I enjoyed the film both times. The take on the Suicide Squad in this film kind of pushed the boundaries of DC animated films with the blood and the gore, nudity, violence, but it was all kind of in line in the source material. It didn't sort of seem out of place for this movie. Definitely the best rendition of the Suicide Squad we've seen on film to date, and I love the choice of characters from the squad, like your regulars like Deadshot, Harley and Captain Boomerang, to your not so regulars like Copperhead, Killer Frost and Bronze Tiger, all really complementing each other nicely, I felt. The only couple of small little things that I wasn't fussed on, and I'm talking about you, Speed Force, talking about you, and Vandal Savage, but overall very solid flick. So with that, I give it 18 out of 20. Final thoughts. So first up, if we look at collectability and we look at the collectability scale, I would say this one is sitting for, say, your comic book fan and up. This is a great addition to any collection. Definitely not one for the kids though, not for the kids at all, but definitely check it out and grab yourself a copy. Now, as far as availability goes, this one is more on the common side, not too hard to find on all formats across all your regular retail outlets or eBay. As far as your average price goes, you're looking at $10 to $20 on DVD, $15 to $30 on Blu-ray, and $18 to $40 on 4K. Now, for the final score, we get a grand total of 77 out of 100. Not a bad score for another good DC animated movie, and the best Suicide Squad movie so far. And I really can't wait to see the new James Gunn one that's coming out soon. I reckon that'll be awesome. And of course, one last thing, stop it with the Speed Force.
Drew the Speed Force into me with every ounce of willpower I had left.
Whoa, stop right there. Stop that shit, man.
Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and of course, why not hit that like, subscribe, and of course that notification button. It really helps the channel out. I really do appreciate it. Also, let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this movie and if you picked up a copy, and if you don't like the Speed Force as much as I do. Now you can also contact me at thecomicbookmoviecollector@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on the socials at comicbookmoviecollector on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. All the links will be down below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.